Today, we will be looking at the lives of Aaron Smith from LA, California of USA, Atim Malaf from the Sinai Peninsula in Egypt, and Ibrahim Mensah from the Koidu town in Sierra Leone. The three children live in different countries, but they all experience the dangers and threat of war, parental absence, and low economic status in different forms. In the face of these threats, the children can turn to their extended families, school engagement, and religious beliefs for the support they need to continue on with their lives.
This is Aaron Smith. He lives in a little country you might know as the United States of America. Aaron lives with his stepmother, father, and his brother in a military housing complex near the LA Air Force Base in California. His father is stationed there at the base as a combat drone operator, and though they just moved here, Aaron is getting used to his surroundings. Before the war, Aaron, his father, and his mother moved often, but other than that, Aaron's life was pleasant. Then, Aaron's father, a drone pilot, was deployed in Afghanistan, and there he developed PTSD from all the missions and time spent there. Luckily, Aaron has things that will help him with his difficulties with his father. Ironically, his father, being a religious man, taught Aaron to go to church and that God has a plan. It is this same church that helps Aaron feel safe. The assistance of the church has helped Aaron stay positive in his life. The two most influential factors in his life are his mother and his grandfather. Aaron's stepmother is someone who Aaron looks up to and respects very much, as she is always there to calm down his father and him when they are in a fight. Even though his father's volatility, she still loves him, and so does Aaron. The last thing that helps Aaron is going to school and pouring his all into it, so that he doesn't have to live the same way his father did, entering into the military. All these factors help buffer the ill effects of his father and his mother's death.
Atim lives in the Sinai Peninsula in Egypt. She lives with her mother and has not seen her father for several years. The neighborhood that she and her mother live in has a high concentration of military presence due to the conflict with Islamic militants. Her mother never went to high school and makes money through selling the milk from the few goats that they own. Atim goes to school every day, but the pressure of dropping out early to get a job increases as she gets older. Atim and her mother are Christian copes and attend Christian services every week. Atim wishes that her father was living with them so that her mother has help in supporting the family. Atim also misses the paternal figure in her life. The money that her mother makes is not enough and is not constant, so oftentimes meals consist of only bread and goat milk. Around them, there's the constant threat of militant bombings and raids from the Sinai insurgency. Throughout the day, the rumbling of tanks can be heard throughout the streets of the neighborhood that they live in. In addition to the constant exposure to military violence and presence, Atim faces religious persecution in the form of bullying. The places that Atim and her mother can go to for services are very limited due to government restrictions, so they are forced to trek long distances on foot. Although Atim has her father missing from her life, she is able to have a strong paternal role model in the form of her grandfather. Atim is fortunate to have both her grandparents, and even though they don't work to provide financial support, they are able to support Atim emotionally and socially as well. Atim thinks that school is interesting and enjoys going to class. Even though the threat of having to drop out by high school looms over her, she makes most of what time she has in school by being attentive and active in participation. In the face of hardships, she finds comfort in the Christian services that she and her family go to. Praying together as a family brings her peace of mind and the idea that there is something greater than what they are currently living through keeps her positive. She looks forward to the time spent with her mom and grandparents during the religious events and services. Even though Atim and her family fall under a religious minority, Atim feels a strong sense of ethnic identity and feels strongly connected to her Egyptian roots. She enjoys learning about the history of Egyptian people and loves the art and architecture influenced by ancient Egypt.
Abraham lived in Koidu Town, Sierra Leone, which is the largest city of the Kono district and is also rich in its source of diamonds. Abraham lived in a home in a rural area with both his parents, his grandparents, an aunt, and an uncle. He is expected to help his father with the agricultural work with the rice and cassava crops on his time off from doing classwork from school. Every morning he walks with his mother a few miles across town to reach a water source and bring some back. His family is very poor and does not have access to health care. One night, he was abducted in his sleep, taken by the Armed Forces Revolutionary Council, and forced to be combatant, later becoming a part of the West Side Boys. After about 3 years of combat and of lucky survival, Abraham is fortunately reunited with his parents, but his life will never be the same. Through membership with the West Side Boys, Abraham experienced war and violence firsthand. He knew how to hold a rifle. He knew how to kill. He knew what to do in order to survive against enemies who were also other children. This became his way of life. He lived alongside other West Side Boy members, which meant being away from his parents for a very long time. For the time being, he had no mother figure to care for him, no father figure to role model after. Although away from home, he is still of a low socioeconomic status. Being a child soldier did not better this condition. Moreover, he took on the adult roles of fighting in war. The difference in Abraham's life when compared to Aaron and Atim is that his country utilized children in war. Although not all agree to this and find it a crime, it still happens. Upon his fortunate reunion with his family, Abraham must recreate the attachments he once had with his parents. It would be best for him to also become even closer with his grandparents, aunt, and uncle as he tries to readapt to his normal everyday lifestyle. He must enroll back into primary schooling. He was doing somewhat okay with school, but was never a major concern. Focusing was difficult due to his family life, and now his experience of such violence from abduction. Abraham followed his parents and believed in the Islam faith. Having known the competent lifestyle, Abraham must now regain his sense of purpose in life, for himself and his family. Exposure to war, parental absence, and low socioeconomic status could happen anywhere in the world, despite the nation's socioeconomical status. The different nations provide different environments influencing the severity of each risk. For example, the United States is much more developed than Egypt and Sierra Leone and have different rules and regulations, so if a child were exposed to war, it would most likely not be a direct effect, such as being a child soldier. The protective factors of extended families, school engagement, and religious beliefs may affect any nation but at varied degrees. For example, school engagement in the United States may be more probable, for there are more opportunities for school to partake in environments such as Sierra Leone or Egypt, where some children are expected to work at very young ages in order to aid in the family's survival. Different nations, as with different people, follow different religious beliefs. Extended familial bonds may also be different, such as how the United States is much more individualistic than Egypt and Sierra Leone. Programs that provide youth with basic needs such as food, water, clothes, and shelter should be set up so that youth are able to live their life with lower levels of deprivation. Health programs should also be set up so that youth access to checkups and medical attention would be probable. Members of a community can also come together for social cohesion so that youth feel more safe and supported in a safe environment to create a strong foundation for positive development.